right, hi everybody. We are back with another Monday lesson, and today we are talking about indie artists. All right, what is an indie artist? What do they do? Why is it a big deal? And how you, as supporters, can help out, whether you're a friend, a family, a loved one, or just somebody who wants to support indie artists, your local artists, local musicians. What can you do? All right. So before we get started, I want to go ahead and invite you to subscribe to this channel. If you haven't already, just go ahead and click that subscribe button below. All right. Make sure that notification bell is on because we got a lot of good stuff coming to you. We got interviews, we got clips, we got covers, we got lessons, a whole lot of good stuff coming to you. All right. So you want to stay up to date on what's going on. All right. So let's dive into it. Indie artist. What is it? What's it about? What's the big deal? What's the hype? What's the hoopla? Let's talk about it. Indie artists are independent artists, and what that means is that you are not signed to a label, you are not backed by a label, you don't have necessarily a big manager, you're not signed to Capitol Studios or Universal Studios or Sony Pictures or whatever it is. You are independent, you are on your own, you are riding solo. All right, so why is that a big deal? What happens in the world? So what usually happens is when you sign to a label, they are fronting a lot of the cost for what it takes to be an artist, a big name artist, to be the Beyonce, the Justin Bieber, to be the Jay-Z, all of that. A lot of times, especially in those beginning stages, those labels are backing that cost. So what does that mean? Tour dates, tour buses, tour bus drivers, managers, studio workers, your mixing engineer, your producer, your videographer, all of that, your costume designer, makeup artist, everything that goes on in making an artist and doing what they do is backed by the label. And that stuff is all involved. When you see these people go on tour, that stuff costs, and even if it didn't cost, it takes a lot to manage, all right? Your video has to not only be shot well, you got to have the right equipment to do it. Oftentimes, multiple pieces of equipment, right? Multiple cameras for different camera angles, lighting, the right backdrop, the right outfit, the right makeup, all of that, okay? Then that stuff costs. It has to be edited. That's time, right? It has to be edited right, so the right color, making sure the audio is lined up with the video, making sure your camera angles look right, making sure the lighting doesn't bounce off, make sure your color is saturated. I mean, a lot goes into video editing, and a lot of times you have to hire a professional or invest the time to learn the craft yourself. All right, on the mixing end, on the music end, rather. You got to have the right producer to get the right sound out. You got to have the right studio musicians if you decide to go that route. If you don't, then your producer really has to know its game on what sounds to use and how to get it done in a timely fashion because music has to get out, right? You got to have the right mixing engineer to know exactly how to make the song fit and sound how it's supposed to sound and make it competitive with the market, the right mastering engineer, the right music promoter, right? Shopping your music out to clubs, DJs, radio personalities, radio play costs, okay? Studio time costs, especially if you in one of the big time studios, you're talking about hundreds of dollars an hour just to be in there. Hundreds of dollars an hour. All right. That stuff costs. Your tour bus, like I said, your tour bus driver, and it's not just a rinky-dink little school bus, right? You're talking about some kind of decked out either charter bus, party bus, whatever kind of bus it is. You know, some people have limos. Then that stuff has to get decorated and wrapped because as you're driving, it's promoting, right? So you see people's faces on the side of the bus and all of that. A lot of times paraphernalia, right? Your t-shirts, your hats, your book bags, your sunglasses, all of that, shoes, whatever you make, necklaces, bracelets, that stuff costs. That stuff takes time to do. All right. Things that people do to promote sales, your pictures, cover art, posters, right? CD covers, all that kind of stuff. Social media management, making sure, you know, people are taking videos of maybe a quick little 15-second snapshot of you in the studio, EPKs, little pictures of you on the bus, just to, you know, kind of keep your social media interaction up. All of that stuff takes time. Some of these artists that you see that kind of respond to people in their inbox, respond to fans and interact with those on that stuff takes time. That stuff is a lot of stuff that, labels will provide people to do, right? That's why these people have managers and different things like that. And some indie artists, if you have a manager, either you pay for them or it's free work. And if they're free work, it's really, heartwarming. It's really heart melting because not only does that person have to manage their own life, but now they're managing a part of yours. So that means they're helping you stay on top of your schedule, every place that you have to be, right? Making sure your calendar is consistent, no scheduling conflicts, making sure a lot of times calling ahead of time to make sure all of our favorite word backline is set up, right? Do you have the right amount of background mics? Do you have the right amount of monitors? Is there a good drum kit there? We got a good keyboards there. You have all the cables that I need. Is the stage big enough for me, my band, and my background singers, right? Does the audio system have whatever I need if I have tracks, right? Is there a good sound man? Do I need to bring my own? All these things go into play. Making sure I'm there on time because a lot of times the artist has to be there hours before the show, doing sound checks, doing walkthroughs. If they have to set up the room and decorate the room, that stuff takes time. That stuff takes cost. All right. So a lot goes into being a quality artist, whether you're indie or not. Now, back to indie. So now that's why indie is such a big thing. You see a lot of these indie artists, really asking for you guys to support because they need it. There's a lot that goes into it. I wish it was just 1, 2, 3, but it's not. It's really not. It's like 1, 7, 10, 12, 2, 5, 212, 3. I mean, that's the reality of the situation. So let's nix another myth. Let's talk about these royalties, these streaming dividends, these streaming payouts, right? It's not a lot. Let's just put that out there. It's not a lot. I know some myths going around and some people that think, I get a couple hundred plays and, I got some money in my bank. You don't. As you can see, they're low. Not even 1 cent per stream. That's the reality. Not even 1 cent per stream. Not even $1, not 50 cents, not a quarter. I mean, you see the numbers here, right? So it's not a lot. So let's deal into what you can do to help. Here's the obvious answer. Lots of plays. Stream their music a lot, right? Now, no matter if you have the hottest song or the most trash song, after a certain amount of time, you're going to get tired of hearing it. That's just the reality. It happens a lot. Even our favorite song, we just like, okay, that's enough after about, 10 times. It happens. That's okay. Here's some things that you can do. Indie artists, you can do it for yourself. Supporters, you can do it. If you're like me, right, you still have a 9 to 5. If you have a 9 to 5, majority of the chances are you're not allowed to be on your phone doing work. So what does this mean for you? One thing that I do is I make sure my phone is on silent, and if that artist has a single out or an album out, I just have something on repeat the whole shift. What that's doing is just racking up plays and racking up streams, right? Passively. You're not listening to it, it's not getting on your nerves, but it's racking up streams, racking up numbers, right? Which increases payout, all right? Like I said, a lot of these indie artists are supporting themselves. A lot of them are still working 9 to 5s in addition to putting in the extra hours to chase their dreams. All right. So we really do need your support. And that's one way to do it. Just while you're on work, have your phone on silent. Let it just rack up. Put it on repeat. Let it go. You can get, depending on the length of a song, you can get anywhere from about 50 to 75 plays, in 3 to 4 hours. So if you work an 8-hour or 12-hour shift, just think about what that does 5 days a week, 6 days a week. Think about what that does, right? If you have multiple artists, make a playlist and just have the playlist on repeat. right? Support everybody. Everybody gets some. All right, that's one major way you can do. Here's another thing that you guys can do. So those of us who are sound engineers for churches, all right, a lot of times what happens now is churches will play music before and after services as people are kind of walking in and leaving out, just as some little mix and mingle music. Put the indie artist on there. Put the artist on there. It's a lot of indie gospel artists out there that have great music. All right, put that into the rotation. They just make that the song, right? A lot of times, gospel music tends to be longer than pop or R&B music. Pop or R&B music, it can be anywhere from 2.5 to 3.5 minutes. Gospel, usually anywhere between like 4 and 6. So that one song may be what you need. Maybe either play it twice or just put it in rotation, right? That racks up streams. Think about how often a lot of us have services. Sometimes we have 2 services a day, 3 services a day, or you got a midweek service as well as a Sunday service, or some of you guys are doing things on Saturdays and you guys have events on the weekends. All of that good stuff. Extra services. Help those indie artists out. Put their music into rotation. All right. So as it's going on, it's another passive way just to rack up those streams for them. All right. Let's get into another way. Pump them up, broadcast them, make them a big deal. Tag your friends often. When their music comes out, let everybody know. If you're like me, you have friends all over the United States. Some of you may even have connections overseas. That stuff helps big time. Make them big, okay? A lot of these people have really good content, really big dreams, and they really have the talent. It's important that they get appreciated and broadcasted like they're supposed to. So tag your friends not only locally but everywhere. I do my best to tag friends not only here but in Virginia, in California, Washington, Texas, Florida, everywhere I can, everywhere that I know people that are outside of this area, I tag them because that gets attention nationwide, which is huge. All right, and try to encourage them to do some of these same things while they're at work. Have their phone on silent, racking up plays, right? If they have connections to the sound ministry of church, or if they're on the praise team or whatever, share with the praise team. That's more people. That's at least 3 to 9 people. Share with the band. Share with the sound man and say, hey, can we put this into rotation? Just to help spread the indie artist names and help those counts rack up all across the nation. Okay. All right. So when you share it, share clips. Right, a little 10-15 second clip of what the song is and tag people. All right. Here's one more thing. Those of you who do social media management for the church, or you put together your church's commercials, announcements, videos, right? Put that indie artist song as the background music for the video. All right. A lot of these indie artists, like I said, have really good content. So what happens? They're watching the video, they hear the song, just like you do on TV. Dang, what song is that? What happens now? Shazam. Oh, cool. Let me add this to my playlist. I can't tell you how many times I've done that personally, whether it be on TV or in church, right? One of my favorite artists is Todd Delaney. And, when I hear some of his music in commercials or things I don't know, I was just like, oh, snap, what's that? And now I'm listening to it every day on my commute, just pastime listening, right? Sometimes I learn it just for fun as a musician, right? So do that same thing with these local artists. If you're making commercials for your church, if you are making, a quick little promo video for an event that you guys are having or whatever, put them in there. All right. A lot of your churches have indie artists. A lot of your friends, are indie artists. If you're doing things for yourself, a lot of you guys may be studying videography or graphic design at school or anything like that. Have a program as you're making these little videos and stuff. Put the music in there, rather than just seeing whatever iMovie gives you or whatever Movie Maker gives you. Support your local indie artists. Put their music in there to really put some ear candy in these listeners' ear and help promote another artist. Then as that happens, encourage them to do the same thing. If they say, hey man, what was that song that you used in your video? Oh, that's my boy, that's my girl, whoever, and show them the thing and say, yeah, really help them out. You can do XYZ. Because I guarantee you, I'm telling you the truth, it's hard out here. All right. And these are really easy things that you can do to help support and promote these indie artists. All right. So hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully you were enlightened to some of the realities of the music world. It is capable. Let me just encourage you. It's capable. You're capable. You can do it. It can be successful. It does take work, and it does take a village. All right. So we as indie artists need you. We love you big time. All right. So again, hopefully you enjoyed this video. All right. Subscribe at the bottom. Like the video. Give me a comment. Share it with your friends. All right. And support your indie artists. All right. I will see you all next Monday.